Hello everyone, T-Man978. Right now we're going to take a look at Transformers Age of the Primes Commander Class Onslaught. You can see all of the other Combaticons on this image. Here's this stuff back here that I'm going to talk about. And of course, he also becomes the combiner frame of Bruticus, as you can see right there. Minus the instruction manual, this is what you get inside of the box. The box was rather heavy, and inside this almost feels like a brick. So I feel like even though the prices are raising, I do feel like they put some of that money into making this have better plastic. And this whole year, all of the figures that I've got this year, for the most part, except Sure Shot, has very tight joints and the figures just have been feeling way better this year, period. As far as initial setup, you get these two things right here, the barrels for these guns. I do not know why they weren't just one piece. This is useless. There's literally no reason for this to come off unless there's somebody making an upgrade kit and they know about it. But yeah, that's the only reason for these to come off. Like, and now that I said that out loud, that makes sense. But we have this hitch thing right here. We can go ahead and plug that into the actual Onslaught robot. And now here he is in his full vehicle mode, just like Optimus Prime needing his trailer to pull off the whole look that they got. Wheels roll. Things I dislike that these have the clip-on wheels. These are pinned. Typically, Commander class has as many screws and pins as possible. Like this thing, like I said, it feels good, but it is shocking to see that there and this here. There's also another wheel right here. I guess that helps, or it just lets this roll without him. So that's a good idea. Things that are a problem. Wait, let me just show you the features. This can turn around. You see how this can turn that way. We can also lift this up, bring this up, and have it angled upward like that if you want. You can put other Combaticons or whatever type of vehicles that you want him to haul on there, so that's great. That's an early size comparison. Now let me get into the issues. The way this connects right here, that connects so loosely. I mean, it's not mandatory to stay together only when it's rolling, which it does do that, but I do wish that was a more solid connection. And pretty much, let's let you see this angle right here. Whatever I don't mention, I don't really care about. If you care about it, let me know in the comments. But things I noticed these pegs right here, that peg and that peg, they look like Minicon ports. It's amazing that they put Minicon ports on this and not the Armada version figures. And if I want to be anal, I noticed this when I turned them back into a truck the first time. Like, let's just show you this up close. Like, the way that it transforms and whatnot, it just looks like part of the truck is missing. I know some anal person will see that and that will bother them. But this piece right here, they use definitely better, heavier plastic. It feels like what you expect when you pick up a Transformers toy. It doesn't feel like third party with die cast or anything. So don't say that I'm trying to say that, but it does feel like old school toys. Like an old school leader class toy, which now apparently is $100. Here it is next to Optimus Prime. He's longer. All this feels way more substantial than that. There we go. You have to squint to make them in scale with each other. Here he is hauling a Voyager class Seeker. And here are the Combaticons that I have together. End of the day, this part is nice and solid. Only had the minor complaints that I mentioned. Nitpicks as far as me not liking that. And the major problem I have with this entire set, I'll get into that when we get into robot mode. Transformation. I'm gonna separate that and get back to that guy a little bit later. Under here, we're going to move this back to give clearance for this thing. And we're gonna wiggle on here, take all of that off. Put that to the side. We can leave this how it is. I am going to take this and plug that right there. I'm going to basically lift this and bend that 90 degrees. Fold this right here. Bend right here 90 degrees. We can rotate that around, and what they show you in the instructions, lift this up, lift that up, and put that like that. Now with this guy, or this part, we can separate that. This port right there can peg into this, and this peg will go into that area right there. Now it's up to you, because to decide whether these hands bother you, you could rotate that around, but this is the official transformation for that part. Now let's get into Onslaught. Onslaught. I'm going to open this and open that. I'm going to rotate this, grab here, and open up the heel. We can put the feet down like this. And now these things right here. I don't know why these are here at all. They don't serve any type of purpose that I can tell. Unless something's gonna happen later. Just like taking those cannons off. But you need to do that in order to... Actually, you don't even need to do that. But that's what the instructions say. We could separate the legs just to get them separate. Up here, we need to kind of bend out like that to get this unpegged from here, and there's a peg that's up underneath of the hood. It's like hard to just do one at a time, but when you do it like I just did, we can get those arms out. Now we can stretch the arms, rotate the shoulder this way, bring the arm down, rotate this, and the hands are back here. Rotate the wheel inward and the hands are back there. This up here, we can rotate that up, rotate that up. Kind of bring this back while lifting the head up, but we can bring this back. Rotate this forward so that we can clear this, but bring it back. Push that back in there. Push the head back down. Get this pegged in, and now we can push this windshield back. And basically, we are done. He is a robot. All right, here are both of these units together. That's cool. Let's zoom in on this thing first. As you can see, it's not just straight up silver plastic. There is paint on some of these parts. So that's cool. We got this going on. It looks like this up close. And down here, somebody probably has a problem with the waffly situation going on down there. I'm betting that we'll get an upgrade kit to fill in all of that. I can see something pegging into here and down there all at once. And we could get that going. While we're zoomed in, let's look at Onslaught. Onslaught is very cartoon accurate. Now, the proportions, we should be used to this by now. Starting with Siege, they started making the figures shorter while giving them the same amount of plastic that they've always had. So, doing so makes the characters more bulky and squat. And that's what you get in this case. I do wish that he was taller. Like, I wish that he was the same height as Studio Series 86 Megatron. But he does come out to be shorter. Alright, if you rotate his forearms, you can get him holding those things I call Minicon ports. And now he has this cannon right here. Lift that up. We can make him shoot straight. And of course it can rotate. Oop. I detached the legs. It can rotate like this. So he does have that option. But now let's bring up the thing that's the most troublesome for me. He doesn't have any type of handheld gun. He doesn't have a gun for himself. That is nuts. I don't know if Swindle is going to come with one. I don't think they show what he comes with. His guns turn into Bruticus's guns. But this is it. They expect him to be carrying this around. Or maybe bending over and shooting like that. So that is weird. Luckily for me, I have tons of extra guns. Like this one right here. He was known to have like a big green rifle. I guess I'll have to buy some upgrade kit or get somebody to 3D print it for me. But yeah, we got that. At least I have this. And you're saying, oh, that's so recognizably Optimus Prime. But nobody asked you. When it comes to articulation, pretty much the same as the other Commander class combiners. You just get a ball joint. You really can't look up much. And the head can rotate. Arms go out to there. The joints are tight, like I was mentioning. We got this. We got this. The shoulder can actually lift up because of the transformation. Nothing in the wrist besides going back into transform form. We can do this. Since it's mostly filled in and whatnot, they could have went extra mile and gave us an ab crunch. But ratchet it back here, ratchet it forward. This is friction out to the side. Rotation here. And we can make him bend more than 90 degrees. The foot has ankle pivot like they've all been having, and the toe can come forward. So he can get into like poses where he's actually bent more than 90 degrees. But he can't really look up. So that's the big problem that I have with Transformers, period. Retail Transformers specifically. Some of them can look up because of transformation or something. Sometimes they do it on purpose, but recently they have been making them not have any type of neck articulation to look upward. And that's annoying to me. Here's the back of his head, by the way. There is hollowness back there for anybody that cares. You could probably cut the piece down there and give him extra movement. I don't know. Let me know if you did that. Here he is next to Silverbolt. Here's this comparison. It's cool that he's taller than the Seeker mode, so he's taller. He's going to be taller than Starscream. All right, here are the current Combaticons that I own. Combiner mode transformation. I was debating on this since I show so much, but take these things off. This guy right here, I'm going to rotate that like that. Separate this, and we can rotate these around like that. And you push that forward so we can get this out, which is going to become the heel. Straighten that up and put that like that. Get this out, straighten that up, put that like that. Now from the legs are done, basically. And up here, we can lift this up and open that up. Then we could grab these side wing things, open them up, and push this down. And wasn't that easy? That was easy. I like it. The arms, as they came out of the box, these need to be rotated, the hands. And you know the gimmick. The gimmick is supposed to be, you put these guys on here, and then we bend this back and it separates it. That's supposed to be the gimmick. Here's the problem. This is so freaking tight now. The pegs work so well. I can't for the life of me like separate it. I'll just show it right now how it's supposed to work. This is the left arm. You're supposed to be able to do that. I can't do that with the robots actually connected because it's so tight. Then we can shut this, and basically that's an arm. Do that for the other one. Or by the time I get Swindle, we'll see if I actually get it to work. Onslaught. I'm gonna close this heel. Push the feet up like this. The arms, I'm gonna push the hands back and rotate them this way and leave it like that for now. I'm going to open this thing up right here, the windshield, kind of bring the head forward, bring this back, which gets his head out. You can actually pull back on that, push his regular robot head in there, and push this forward. Get that down like that. Right here, this thing right here. Remember this. We can lift this up. But when you take it back, I'm going to mention it now, push that down until it clicks. This got stuck in there because I didn't do that till it clicked. But now we can put the arms back like this. Right there. The legs need to rotate like that and like that. Open up this hinge right here, bends the thigh backward. You can get it into that orientation. Now we need to start rotating this, and when we rotate it up that much, we should be able to close this and move things up into this orientation. And now that peg right there goes into this, or that peg hole goes into on top of this peg that's on the shoulder. Same deal over here. Open this up, bend these knees and backward, start rotating things like this, and then we can shut that. Get that up to here and peg the foot onto his shoulders. Now we can bring this guy back in here. His crotch, this part of the crotch area fits into that cavity like snugly, and it actually like clicks, which I like. Now these two things go into these two holes on Onslaught's robot mode chest. We got that going, and now we can bring this up over top of his regular robot mode backpack like that. It like kind of clicks on something in there. I don't know what. The arms can peg into the backpack to give you even more security. And this is one of the most solid combiners. Put this together. Now let's bring this back. You take the arms, slide them on top of his robot mode feet, put this one on, and if you don't have any other Combaticons, here's what you're working with. This thing is huge. It feels heavy. Once you get him like this, even without the other combiners on there, it feels like, wow, maybe this is worth $100 because it feels so solid. But let's show you this without the other pieces on. Ratchet it that way, ratchet it this way, ratchet it elbows, swivel, arms, rotate. It is very thick, and they could have did it, but they want to keep it uniform. They give you a swivel, but they didn't give you like a nab prince. You could have had it, but it would be a waste of time anyway, because the head can barely freaking look up. It's on a ball joint, so you don't get a lot. Thighs are ratcheted this way. They're ratcheted this way. It bumps into this thing, so you will have to detach it if you want it to go back further. Hip flap still up. Go ratchet it that way. Thigh swivel. Knees bend. And there is a joint for ankle pivot in there. Now, just like the others, this actually slides out very easily. It did that for Motor Master because it needed to transform that way. And Superion, the way they have this frame combined, they perfected it, I feel like, with this guy. You never have to separate anything besides the arms. I put Superion's leg on here just to see if you could scramble city it. And you can, and that actually fits on here better than his legs, amazingly. But there you are. I'm going to combine the other things on here so we can see what it looks like so far. And like I said, when I get Swindle, I'll do the full transformation and do a full review. But it is, I can tell you right now, it's good as is. All right, here's what he looks like with most of his body on. But yeah, we'll get into it when I have everything. All right, I like this thing. I can't wait for Swindle. If I didn't say that, I'm saying it again. But anyway, disassembling him. We need to lift up on this piece right here to get these separated. Pull the wheels forward, bend right here on that hinge, rock that forward, lock that into place. Same thing on this side. And we can rotate the hand that way. Same deal over here. Make sure the shoulder is in this orientation. Bend that, rock it forward, pull the wheels forward, bend that, rock it forward, rotate the hands around, and we can go ahead and plug these together so that the wheels and hands match right there. Put that off to the side. Now we can up here bend this back, detach the arms right here. If they're wiggling, they're detached. And we can move this off his back and go ahead and pull this off his front. And we can dislodge him, put him to the side, but move this back like this, shut these wings, bring this down, put that like that. And I guess we can rotate this at this point in time. Lift up the crotch skirts, rotate the legs this direction. Guess we could try to plug everything together. Lift this up like that, bend this down, and then we can shut this. But we still need to leave it like that so we can get the arms back up under there. We should be able to, I'm gonna rotate this some, then get these into place. Plug that like that. Get the arms, plug them in like this. Now we can shut that, and it's back into this thing right here. Oh yeah, and we can lift this up. I am going back to vehicle mode, by the way, if you can't tell. Onslaught and that thing are not that difficult to transform. I'm going to push back on the feet to get them off of that peg. Start rotating this out like this. Open this so we can elongate the legs. Bring them down. This is the front. Same deal. Bring this down. Open that up. Elongate the legs. Bring that down to this is in the front. This thing right here, this green thing, fold that back out. And we can go ahead and plug this together. And I'm gonna leave things like this for now, because we need to get all this out the way really. Bring the arms down. The hands can, or the forearms can just fold up like that. Bring this down, fold this up. And I guess we can rotate this up and bring it like this for now. We can pull this back, get his regular head out, shut this down until it clicks. Put this down into there. Lift this guy up until it's hovering above this, so we can get this into that orientation. Take these guys and rotate them down. Shove that mostly into this. Get it like that, I guess. Push the head down. Lift the shoulders up. Get them mostly in their position, and we can like kind of like squeeze this to this while pushing this in at the top at the same time. And you're probably gonna have to do a big, see how you can see through that? You're gonna have to do a final push right there. Now with these still open, we can rotate like this, get that into place, and go ahead and plug these into place. And down here we can go ahead and connect this back together, and we're done. My shoulders are burning from holding that in front of my face for so long. Thank you. Shout out to All Time Toys here in Maryland. That's where I got this. I'll have a link in the description for where you can get it on Amazon if it's still available. MSRP $99.99. Hopefully that price doesn't go up. It might be $110 once they sell out. But anywho, thank you for watching. Until next time, T-Man 978 out of here. Click the videos. Click